tell me something.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Running. Running. Okay, Alan.
This cat, sorry, bruv. This camera, this. Look at this camera.
This one.
Just look at me because I'm beautiful.
You are the most beautiful, JJ.
Okay, Alan. You were fishing a lot of places in the whole world. You were fishing in Poland too. Even Eurobank episodes have a little footage of fishing in Warsaw and in a jungle lake.
Yeah.
Tell me, what is your feeling and thoughts about Polish carp scene and Polish carp anglers? Because you were on shows, you were on shop days, you're fishing in Poland.
Yeah.
Just give me your thoughts.
I've been really honest. As a nation, I don't want to sort of pigeonhole everyone, but the British are incredibly opinionated and also very arrogant at times. And I think, myself included, if we go back, let's say 15 years before I didn't work at Nash, I certainly had this sort of stereotypical opinion of the Polish angler. All they do is eat carp. They eat carp, you know. And I remember growing up in Tesco's, our sort of local big supermarket. You could go in there and there'd be carp on the counter, and everyone would be like, "Ah, carp, carp." And I'm sure a lot of those were going to Polish households in England. So certainly in England, there's definitely a stigma, or there was a stigma about how all Polish people just eat carp. I was very lucky to start working at Nash Tackle, and probably quite quickly, maybe 2 or 3, 4 years after I joined, I went over to the Rybnik show. I don't know if you were with us at the time, Carol or JJ, but basically it was a mega show. They managed to get hold of a little KA car from a scrapyard, and we graffitied it and smashed it up, and I had the decks there, and it was my first taste of Poland. The show was great. We didn't do any fishing because of the time of the year it was, but what we did do that evening is drink a lot of vodka. And it taught me about a Polish culture that we don't have here in England. I'm digressing massively from the question, but I think it's kind of important. What I learned from that very first visit to Poland was how sociable the Polish people were and how unsociable we are. We basically crack open a bottle, drink it as fast as we can, drink another one, then we're sick everywhere, and then we're calling each other horrible names, then we have a big fight. That's very much the British culture, binge drinking. However, spending time with what I now class as some of my greatest friends in Poland, we would sit around a table and we would just put 1 bottle of vodka there. We'd have some nice fruit juices, orange, apple, mango maybe, and we would just talk and we would drink. And it was just beautiful. And when that bottle finishes, someone would present another bottle. And you would sit there and talk like human beings, like grown-ups. So that was my first kind of, fondest memory of Poland. Since then, as Carol says, I've done a little bit of fishing over there. And let me tell you, it is nothing like what you might believe it to be. Like I say, they don't eat carp. They eat Burger Kings, and they go to Starbucks, and they have KFCs, and they like steak and chips, and just like the rest of the people in Europe. It probably once upon a time was like that. You know, cultures have changed, traditions have changed, education's changed. You know, you've got a booming carp scene now in Poland, booming. Some phenomenal anglers. You've got some mega waters. And yeah, I'm not saying that everyone doesn't eat carp anymore, but I'd say the bulk of the anglers now in Poland, they are catch and release fishing. Not that I've got a problem with eating them. If that's what you want to do, then absolutely fine. But no, the scene is massive now. The shows are massive. The venues are incredible, like I say. You can fish some ridiculously epic public waters, or conversely, a bit like the Jungle Lake, you can go to some mega cool pay lakes. And I bet you, most of the people watching this, you wouldn't have thought that actually the Jungle Lake in Eurobanks was actually a pay lake. You know, how cool's that? One of the coolest pay lakes I've ever fished. So yeah, I love it over in Poland. The fishing is second to none. I think the last time I went was a couple of years ago. I actually went over for a wedding, but typical me, had to do a little bit of fishing beforehand, and actually caught a really cool carp from like this monastery almost. Yeah, carp are widespread over there. They grow to very big sizes. I'm not entirely sure what the Polish record is, but it's not uncommon to be fishing waters with at least one and possibly multiple 30-kilo fish in. So yeah, big ups Poland.
Any advice for Polish carp anglers?
Not really. Not that I wouldn't give the same advice to anyone. It's a very broad question, Carol. I think my advice to not just Polish carp anglers, but any anglers that might be watching this would be, at number one, do it to enjoy it. You know, I think it's all too easy in this day and age to get sucked into a world of social media and likes and engagement and reach, and I desperately want a sponsorship with a particle company or a clothing company, and I'm going to go fishing to try and raise my profile and get a bit of free bait or cheap bait. Forget it. Forget all of that. You know, if that comes along, great, but don't make that the reason you go fishing. Go fishing because you love it. To a lesser or greater degree, I'm kind of guilty of that myself for a period in my angling. Not chasing sponsorship or chasing likes, but I was chasing big carp, big named carp from circuit waters and syndicates. I wanted to be a proper carp angler, a real carp angler, and I didn't enjoy it one little bit. In fact, it almost made me fall out of love with fishing altogether. So yeah, my number one bit of advice would be go fishing because you love it. That could be for a multitude of reasons. It might be because you like catching big fish. It might be because you simply like spending time with your friends and family. It could be the sunrises, the sunsets, whatever the reasons you go fishing are, do it for the right ones, you know, and fundamentally because you love it.
Thanks, Alan. Any fixed plan to visit Poland?
Of course. Fixed, not so much. I'm going over in approximately a month and a half's time with my guy, and no doubt I'll meet up with you as well at Carol at some point. Yeah, I'm going over to visit our distribution centre. We've got a very large distribution centre based in Poland, fantastic staff, and I just want to meet those people. I just want to go and give them a hug, shake their hand, and thank them for all their hard work. That's one of the reasons. Number two, I will go to a junior event to meet with some of the up-and-coming carp anglers of Poland, you know, young ladies and boys that are there partaking in a junior event. I'm going to do that, and along with JJ I'm going to go and visit some tackle shops. Rockwold, iCarp,
and that's all I think.
Possibly enough. He thinks that's all, but by the time I've finished with the schedule and the agenda, we're coming to see a few more. We're going to feel it, JJ. Okay. I'm really looking forward to it. Of course I'll be fishing when I'm there. JJ's already said to me, shall I book hotels? We fish every day, and we drink some vodka at night. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to my next trip over to Poland. I did have a trip planned this winter. I wanted to fish the, I'm going to call it, because to me it is, the iconic and famous Rybnik Power Station Lake. It's kind of quite high up my list of dream venues to fish. I fished it a few years ago now, Carol, 2017. And I did one night in January in a T2 with an overwrap, with a ridiculous bivvy heater. And it was a hell of an experience. Good friends, all huddled in the bivvy, drinking and laughing. We didn't catch. I think the boys round to our right did. It's just a very inspiring venue for me. So yeah, I'd like to get back in the winter and do something there. And who knows what the future holds. It's a big country, like I say, with a very emerging carp scene. And yeah, I'd like to do a lot more time over there.
Thank you, Alan. Thank you very much.
Pleasure, boys. It's so nice having you over.
Thanks. Got
it. Wallop. Bosh.
You are the easiest guy.
Yeah, just.